evening, everyone. I'm Errol Nazareth, and welcome to the final installment of this year's East York Days Behind the Music. We're at the historic St. Matthew's Clubhouse here in Riverdale Park East on the banks of the beautiful Don River. The clubhouse stands on territory traditionally inhabited by many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabeg, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people. There's been live music on the shores of these rivers and lakes for a long time, and tonight we carry on that tradition and get a chance to talk to some of the people making music here today. Thanks to the magic of technology. Tonight, for our final installment of this East York Days Behind the Music, we will zoom into the homes and studios of two of my favorite Toronto musicians and get insight into their process and how they've been coping under quarantine. And now, let's get down to business and go behind the music. Our next performer wears many hats and she wears them really well. Joanne Morra teaches art at a French high school. She volunteers with Habitat for Humanity. She rescues cats. And if you follow her on Instagram, you will know that she loves riding motorbikes. If you see her live, she's a hoot. You will hear jazz standards, blues, traditional French Canadian songs, and you'll hear a few songs that are deeply personal. Welcome to East York Days Behind the Music, Joanne.
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Nice to see you. It's so good to see you. I'm kind of a giddy schoolgirl right now.
Well, not much to be excited about when you look at me, but you know, we're here to...
Come on.
So let's stick to the theme of the event, right? Which is, tell us the story behind a song that you and the band have recorded during lockdown.
Okay, so the tune that we're going to be playing tonight is actually the only tune that I recorded, and it's not a professional recording by any means, but we did it in my studio behind my house, me and Scott Neary, and it was actually I recorded it for a fundraiser for a friend's charity called Walk Like a Refugee. But this is a song that I wrote a year ago. It was September 2019. When I was at a songwriter's residency in Gaspésie in Quebec. So I was accepted into this program called Les Rencontres qui Chantent. And I was with other Francophone musicians from all over the world. And we spent 2 weeks intensely writing music. And that's one of the songs that came out of that residency.
How was that, being with all these like-minded creative types?
Oh my God. You know what? Honestly, it was really intimidating because I definitely suffer from the fraud syndrome. And, I'm living with these artists who are incredible from all over. And to me, it seemed that they had such an ease with their craft. And I'm pretty new to songwriting. So I cried most of those 2 weeks and questioned myself. But it was really, really good, actually. And I got into this groove where, I didn't have to cook for myself. I didn't have to worry about anything except creating. And what an incredible gift for an artist, because it's quite rare that we have that opportunity to just focus 100%. And it's encouraged. They were very inspiring. And it was an amazing experience for me. I wish I could do it again, but anyway.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah,
it's a lifetime back, but let's not go there. Introduce the song. Tell us the title. The people who are watching, tell us what they're going to hear and what they're going to see.
Okay, so the song is called La Destinée, and for some reason I started humming this song that I knew as a kid. It's they don't know the origins of it. It's a folk song called La Destinée, la rose au bois. And they're saying it probably has its origins from France, who knows, 18th century. Anyway, I just sort of got this line in my head, La destinée, la rose au bois. And I came up with La destinée, pas de rose au bois, which is the destined no roses in the woods, or no rose in the woods. So it was a bit of a play on the original folk tune. And the song is about destiny. My version of or my creation of the song is about destiny, cruel destiny.
Let's take a listen to that.
Okay. Hi, bonjour tout le monde. It's Joanne Morra here with Scott Neary.
Hello.
Staying far away from me in my Toronto studio. And We are going to play for you one of my latest tunes, which has not yet been released. This is the official release. I know, are you shaking? I'm shaking. Anyway, it's a French tune that I wrote myself last summer, and yeah, we wanted to share it with you today. So it's called La Destinée, and yeah, it's a cute one. It's about destiny. Shall we?
All right.
Okay. Petits flocons bijoutés qui se font sur la peau, Capelette ou mignon deviendra un crapaud, merveilleuse créature et du temps gigot, au lever du soleil, l'aurore brûlée, les perles des merles nous offrent la santé, c'est le chant de l'espoir, trop souvent contourné, la destinée, pas de rose au bois, c'est toujours en bas que ça s'en va. La destinée n'a qu'un destin, c'est d'aboutir à sa triste fin. Robe blanche dentelée à la matrimoniale, et les vœux échangés à l'hôtel du partage. L'amour négligé, un couple en naufrage, rajeuni dans tes bras, je te supplie une encore, petite mort m'assouplit dans mon lit sous ton corps, délicieux, décevant, chevalier picador, la destinée, pas de rose au bois, c'est toujours en bas que ça s'en va, la destinée n'a qu'un destin, c'est d'aboutir à sa triste fin. C'est toujours en bas que ça s'en va. La destinée n'a qu'un destin, c'est d'aboutir à sa triste fin. La destinée, pas de rose au bois, c'est toujours en bas que ça s'en va. La destinée n'a qu'un destin, c'est d'aboutir à sa triste fin. C'est beau. Merci. Merci tout le monde. Thank you.
New music from Joanne Morra. Joanne, now you've shared many sad personal songs with me that I've played on Big City Small World, which airs every Saturday on 99.1 FM in Toronto. Shameless plug. I see you laughing. Tell me something. How does it feel sharing these songs with the world? These songs that are so like, yeah. Go ahead.
Do I feel? For me, it's not an issue. I'm sort of one of those people who's pretty transparent. I have no. I don't know if it's conscious or subconscious therapy of sorts, but I'm very open about my life experiences. I'm very open about my feelings, and anyone who knows me says you can just tell by looking at me what's happening. I don't hide anything. Sometimes I wish I could rein that in a bit, but I can't. Anyway, so writing and singing about it is just, it's very natural to me. I do know that, sometimes when I'll explain a song that I've written, one in particular, which I think you commented on once as being quite sad, I can feel the audience be like, oh God, you know, like maybe I shouldn't have explained it. Because it can make people uncomfortable. But you know what? Life is uncomfortable, and we all have our stories, all of us. And personally, I trust people more who are explicit with their past, explicit with their emotions. I don't trust someone where everything's fine all the time. I just
That's because, being vulnerable on stage, especially in a small, intimate club, I often wonder if that's scary. I actually had a great chat with Bahamas, who has a brand new album coming out soon, and we had an amazing conversation about this, because if you listen to his lyrics, he's just like, and he said to me, dude, I can't be any other way.
yeah.
I write about stuff that I can't relate to, so you got to take it or leave it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been singing around town for a while. You are brilliant live. The last time I saw you, you're funny, you're saucy. We won't share any of those.
Keep it clean.
Yes. But people might be surprised to learn, Joanna, that you took classes at one point to battle stage fright. You took classes for. Yeah. Tell us about that. That's.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about it just the other day. I was like, God, Joanne, you've come so far, because when I was in school and in university, I could not stand in front of a classroom. There's no way. I went into full on anxiety, to the point where in university, I had to go to the pub and have a couple before, doing any presentations. And then I had to get permission to just be exempt from them altogether. So when I don't know if we have time for this, but the story about, I went to a workshop, like a Face Your Fears workshop when I was in my early 20s. And I admitted publicly that I had always dreamt of being a singer, but that I was too afraid. And so as a result of that workshop, I signed up for stage fright classes, because I knew I couldn't even start singing until I managed to address the stage fright, because there was no question. I could barely open my mouth. So yeah, I did that for a couple of years, and it pretty much fixed me. So I still have anxiety once in a while about it, but it's more about, am I going to remember the lyrics? It's not about being in front of people. Damn lyrics. I got to start doing instrumentals.
That's why I'm in radio, man. Everyone writes that for you. Thank God for producers, You
need to get me one of those.
Here's a question I've asked many of the artists who've performed at Behind the Music. How have you been navigating the pandemic, Joanne?
Oh my God. Creatively, it's been a disaster. I won't lie. Personally, at the beginning, when I was away for March break, because I'm a teacher, and I was away for March break and came home and went straight into quarantine. And I had never had an opportunity where I was stuck at home alone without any of my usual distractions, and it was a gift. I really, really enjoyed that, and I was like, wow, am I an introvert? Like, this is really fueling me in a way that I have never been fueled before. And I thought, I started playing guitar and this and that, and started drawing and painting a little bit. And very quickly I got into a rut, and creatively, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just like, what's the point? 'Cause live music is dead. I have no desire. What's that?
You tweeted that at one point, and I kind of messaged you. I'm like, are you okay? Because you were like, I don't see the point of it. But on the other hand, there were musicians who were like, I'm enjoying this and I'm being creative, right? So it's been really interesting, like the both ends of the spectrum,
Yeah. I think with me, it's a little different too, because I don't play an instrument. So I am very dependent on, like, I write my song, but then I bring it to my band, and then we make something of it. And I don't have that. And, my one guitar player moved back home. Another guitar player got a day job. We're not meeting. And so I don't have that sort of community to create in. And I really need that. I'm not a solo creator at all.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my excuse. And I'm sticking to it. I don't know. I don't know how to get out of this rut. So that's why I'm so excited to be here with you. This is the first I've felt like a musician in a while.
Well, thanks a lot. Yeah. And, hopefully, you just shared a new song and, hopefully you'll find some ways, with the crew to like keep making music. And
Yeah.
yeah, my heart goes out to a lot of musician friends, like I said earlier, who are having a rough go of this, right?
Yeah.
It's the last industry to be called back, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope we come out okay on the other side. Thank you so much for joining us, Joanne. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. And I just want to say thank you once again, Errol, for supporting Francophone artists in Toronto. You got Amélie de Bleus coming up. You've always been very supportive of me, even though you don't even understand most of my songs. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me and to our community.
Yeah, well, keep me posted, and I'm always looking for new songs, new voices, new bands. So just let me know, because we always have room for that on the show. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You take care of yourself. Yeah.
Be well. Okay. Bye. Thanks.
Now, while we get ready for our next guest, take a look at this short video about some of East End Art's other amazing programs.
There's about 21 screen prints that are here that were all made within a series of workshops around the East End, and we're partly trying to respond to incidents of racism and racist violence, which unfortunately keep increasing in Toronto. The workshops all involve a conversation, a lot of writing and thinking, and this exercise called mind mapping, and then ultimately collaborative design and cutting out a stencil and using a silk screen to make a whole bunch of posters. And then we're also having a bigger group conversation around racism as a system and a much bigger structure, and trying to kind of unpack and dissect how we're part of that.
I hope people come in here with like an open mind, so that once they look at the artwork, hopefully maybe even ask questions about it, then they can kind of leave here with like a little bit more information about something that they may not have known.
Welcome back. Amélie et les Singes Bleus describe themselves as the kind of band, check this out, that causes a bride and groom to leave their own wedding reception to come next door and dance. And that's not hype. That's not a line. It really happened. It really did. They're one of our city's best party bands, believe me. And they're fronted by Amélie Lefebvre. She gets the honor of closing our inaugural East York Days Behind the Music. Welcome, Amélie.
Hello. Thank you for having me and us.
Good. Love that little thing. Yes. Got to do it virtually these days. So for viewers who haven't heard or seen you and your band, describe what you do so well. Come on, blow your own horn here, because I'm a huge fan of your band.
Okay. So really the main thing is we're able to transport you to places beyond your imagination, or to places you wish you were, or to escapes because you just need to. I think ultimately we stay away from any genres because we like all of it and we experiment with all of it. And so I think that's it. Like, I think that it's been our calling card as far as being able to really put on a show that gets people either up or clapping or moving, or, you know, that's what we love.
So you like the music is a mix of like ska and jazz, and like, what are some of the genres that you play with?
So many. I mean, most of us mostly will be pegged as jazz, sometimes world, sometimes roots. Like, we really are all over the place.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Exactly.
You know.
And I think more and more you see these kind of musical walls coming down.
Thank
And
goodness.
especially on my show, in terms of the kind of music that people are sending us. It's like no, this is like music from, Turkey mixed with electronica. And it's like bands are doing some crazy things in Toronto right now. You know what I mean?
So great. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Francophone scene. You and Joanne are, the leading lights of the scene, but it doesn't get much press or airplay. How would you describe the scene? Like, tell us, like, I mean, before this pandemic, are there a lot of bands kicking around and certain clubs where we can see?
It certainly is way more from, I moved to Toronto from Vancouver back in 2000, and there was really nothing. And I really saw 20 years of lots of fostering of young people and the Franco music scene all over from different, French areas in Ontario to become more and more exciting. Definitely. The other thing I saw happen is a lot of programming of other Francophone acts into Ontario, which I thought really wasn't the case 20 years ago. So I think it's really evolved, and obviously tons of work to do still. I think, yeah.
Norway.
Well, you were mentioning earlier something about, the promotion of it and the marketing of it. And it's a real struggle. Having been booked by Francophone communities, they're happy to do some promotion, but you've got to do the bulk of it often. And it's a constant struggle between whether you're known or not will be, as anywhere with any show, whether that will bring in the audience and bring in the money. So, it's a bit of a, what do you call that? I don't have the expression in English. Not the dog eating its own tail, or yeah.
Well, hopefully it'll get better. And earlier Joanne and I was talking, and if ever you have any cool French bands, just let me know. We'd love to give them more exposure.
Absolutely.
I'm going to show a video now that's going to give people a really cool idea in terms of what makes this band so special and what exactly it is that you're bringing into the Toronto music scene. Okay,
Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Great.
L'album s'appelle Entre nous parce que non seulement c'est entre nous en tant que groupe et collaborateurs de chansons, mais c'est aussi entre nous. Quand je pense à entre nous, je pense à la francophonie canadienne, je pense aussi à la relation public-artiste, puis je pense aussi à la communauté mondiale. Donc disons que ça va très loin. Ça a été une idée, en fait, qui n'a pas été planifiée. On savait qu'on allait enregistrer un autre album, on savait qu'on allait embarquer avec de la nouvelle musique. On voulait aller chercher aussi des reprises d'un peu partout à travers le monde. On est allé fouiller, on a fait ça, on a joué certaines choses, puis en bout de ligne, on n'a comme pas pu s'empêcher de vouloir écrire des nouvelles chansons. Et de mon bord, j'écrivais des choses et de temps à autre, Risaldo m'arrivait avec des compositions déjà toutes faites, donc ça m'inspirait à peut-être écrire des paroles là-dessus.
I'm recovering from a concussion, that's why I'm recovering from a lobotomy.
Et là, il y a eu Beth, qui est celle qui joue des cuivres, et qui un jour est arrivée avec une chanson complètement composée, avec des paroles en français, elle parle un petit peu français. Et donc de là, je voyais déjà qu'on commençait à collaborer un peu malgré nous, et on a comme suivi ce chemin-là. Je voulais qu'on revienne à quelque chose qui avait plus de sens pour nous. Les chansons qu'on avait reprises et qu'on aime encore reprendre, ça voulait dire quelque chose, mais c'était complètement une autre aventure. Je pense que maintenant, on s'enligne vers des choses qui nous appartiennent. Puis on va quand même chercher quelques reprises, mais encore là, c'est des reprises qui se rapprochent de nous, qui se rapprochent du fait qu'on est au Canada, qu'on est francophone. Donc, je pense que l'idée est partie de là.
Comme dans un rodéo dévergondé, prends ton lasso, tire ma pensée. Je ferai taureau sans trop bouger pour que tu puisses tout rattraper, tout rattraper. Oh. Je me confesse au papillon vers le Mexique.
J'accroche au mur les mots de ma cervelle, bien intégrés. Dans un rodéo dévergondé, prends ton lasso, tire ma pensée. Dans un rodéo dévergondé. Comme dans un rodéo dévergondé, prends ton lasso, tire ma pensée.
Comme dans un rodéo dévergondé, prends ton lasso, tire ma pensée.
Yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Amélie, can you introduce the band for us, please? Because, they're such a vital part of what you do.
Absolutely. Wouldn't be here without them. We've got Rachel Mellis on the contrebass, which is the upright bass. And she also plays with Joanne Morra. Beth Washburn, who's on the horn, two horns actually, the cornet and the alto tuba. And Tim Shia on the drums and Rizaldo Padilla on the guitar.
Now, I'm going to be really selfish here. I'm a big fan of the band, and I found any excuse to play you. I've played you on Big City, and I think the last time I saw you, we came in for a little interview, right?
I did, yeah, I remember.
So, any new music in the works, or how's that?
Well, we were starting the new year very gung-ho, having a book full of possibilities of different covers that we were thinking of, already starting to generate a couple songs when COVID hit. So everything dropped. I was hearing you talk with Joanna earlier. Very much felt like that sort of, wall coming down on any inspiration, it's funny because I had about a month between COVID starting and I actually had accepted a new job starting a month later into COVID. So in April, I started a new job. So for that 1 month, I was pretty crusty. Like I like working with my hands. This is just a funny little thing I did, but I found myself really hands-on crafting things, painting, with my kids, building things. And so it really, it was really, really good that way. And I enjoyed that. And then as I started my new job, then my world just became about that and had no sort of want to create or think of music anymore. So
you can relate to what Joanne said earlier, that she's just not inspired to write because she's like, well, why bother when I don't know what the scene's going to look like tomorrow or next month or next year, right?
Well, my feeling wasn't not really why bother, because I think there is so much to provide people in general with your art in these times. I think my issue was just not. It felt, as everybody did, felt lost, didn't really know what to pull from or which end was up. So couldn't find that space to create anymore.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. Did you jump at all on the whole live stream phenomenon that started and it's still going? And it just seems so odd every Saturday when I talk about someone like, hey, you can see her on a live stream and you can see this person on a live stream. And like, how have you kind of navigated that whole scene?
We did one, and I'm glad we did. It was a nice touch point. It was outside on my deck, and there was only the three of us out of the five, band members. So already there, that's a bit odd. It's not the connection that you're looking for. and it's
Yeah.
not the connection the audience is looking for. So even I wanted to check out a couple of acts online, and I'm glad I did because I want to be there to support, but at the same time, you don't feel that connection the same way.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw a few which were like really well produced. And at that time it was new, right? Like when they started doing them in April and what have you. But it just wasn't engaging me, Like
Yeah.
you're not in the same room, and that whole
That's it.
the same, yeah.
That's it.
I appreciate you joining us and sharing your stories with us, like the ups and downs of being a musician in Toronto in these times. And hopefully things will change, like I said, to Joanne and to all the amazing artists that we've profiled over the last 2 Wednesdays, last 3 Wednesdays, to, like continue making music, and hopefully we will see each other in a club or a festival sometime,
Yeah, like every artist that's come on here said thank you. I want to add my thanks because I think what you're doing is not just acknowledging the music, but actually having a real conversation, which I think is important as a whole to have that out even more in the general public. So that's really lovely. And as Joanne mentioned, supporting the Francophone arts is amazing as well. So thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And thanks to Eastern Arts for we were supposed to do this live, like when I talked to Jan in February, it seems like a lifetime.
That's right.
Let's reposition it this way. And, thanks to them, we didn't just do another live stream thing, right? And I think having this conversation, people are like, yeah, you get something from it. You get some further insight into how you're feeling and to your creative process. Keep doing what you're doing. You know how to reach me. And when you have the new music, just drop it in.
Cheers. Really appreciate it. All the best to you.
Thanks for all what you do. Take care now.
Bye.
And that is it, my friends. Special thanks to the City of Toronto for their ongoing support of East End Arts, all of our individual and corporate donors, and the artists and businesses who invite us to work with them throughout the year for East York Days and other great initiatives. If you want to support East End Arts, and you should, in its mission to unite, inspire, and enhance the neighborhood of East Toronto, my neighborhood, with more arts programs supporting local artists, you can make your charitable donation by visiting eastendarts.ca or just reach out to them on your social media platform of choice. Thanks again to Joanne and Amélie for joining us tonight. And thanks to all the other artists who have joined us for East York Days Behind the Music. And most of all, thanks to you for joining us. Take care of yourselves, and please, if you can, support local music. Good night.